thepascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. Really, we need it more than ever because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. I'm here to give you guys a very brief show. It's going to be about an hour, maybe less than an hour long show because I got things to do. And I'm going to be on Court TV in a little while. So got to take care of a few things before I go back on to on camera and enjoy my time with Vinny Politan. But we got to get into some things that are going on here. There's a lot of things that have been unfolding over the course of the day, all revolving around this war in Iran. And I'm telling you right now, as much as they keep on saying that it isn't, you know, what it is what they say it isn't, because it is what it is. It's a freaking war. But moving on, we got to get into this conversation. All right, so please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it to do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all of them. So make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please and thank you. Main spot. We're this close to 200,000 subscribers. So subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Because honestly, it is random. Just keeping it real. It is just random. Or breaking news. Okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. Okay. Let us get into this conversation. All right. The world is still on fire, everybody. And the economy is getting hit. We are feeling it most definitely. Oil prices have gone up at the highest in the last 2 years, which is a big problem, especially with everything that's going on overseas. We, as American people, and I'm assuming other countries as well, are feeling this. Okay, now we're going to economically feel what's going on in Iran. Let's not forget, over 1,300 individuals have lost their lives in Iran. 1,300 Iranian people, whether they are soldiers or civilians, have lost their lives during this, from the beginning to up till now in this war. Okay, the start of the war all the way up to where we are right now, over 1,300 individuals. And let me just point something out. That also includes here, guys. It includes children. Okay, there's been about 6+ schools that have been hit throughout this entire situation. So it's been really, really not so great. Okay, no bueno. No bueno. It's been very, very, very bad right now. Okay, I'm just going to keep it completely real. It has been very, very bad. But Trump has had a lot to say on his Truth Social, in his interviews, in his press conferences and whatnot. And so we're going to look at a lot of those things. And all of this is happening while the Middle East is on fire. Okay, this is while they're still going back and forth with retaliations and people are firing at each other and then they're firing back at each other. And it's just this back and forth of absolute chaos. And I got to be honest, it's completely heartbreaking to be completely real. Now, here's the thing. Copper Mountain, I know like some of y'all are saying like, hey, it's it's about X, Y, and Z amount of money here per gallon of gas here or there. And here's the thing. It may have gone up just a tick, okay? Just a tick or so. But here's the thing. You never know. Like, if you remember where your gas price was, like, let's just say a few days ago, right? 6-7 days ago, before this whole thing started. If you remember where it was then, okay? Now go back and see if your price has gone up. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have not been impacted by the price set, you will. And it's going to go up slowly but surely. But it's going to go up. Okay? It's definitely going to go up. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, we don't have, I got literally about less than an hour to give you as much information as I can. And I don't know if I'm going to be on after court TV, but I may be, I may not, but I'm going to tell this to my mods. Hey, if you can't make it, it's okay. Get some sleep. That's if I go live later. All right. I understand the late shows are late shows. You don't have to be there. It's totally okay. But if you can't be there, it'd be great to see you there, okay? And I always love you guys, and I appreciate how you guys keep holding it down in the chat, okay? But no pressure. No pressure at all, okay? If you can't make it, you can't make it. I understand, okay? My schedule's all over the place, and it's going to be like that, especially when I'm covering things that are overseas, going on overseas. So if something pops off overseas, I'm going to be covering it, and that might be really early in the morning, or that might be really late at night, okay? And I'm sorry, but those are the breaks for right now. If this was something going on with Nancy Guthrie, it'd be a different story, right? Time zone's a little bit different over there than it is in Iran. But be rest assured, no pressure. I appreciate you doing what you do. Keep doing it. I appreciate it if you can. If you can't, it's okay too. So here's the thing. So just be forewarned. You've been warned, okay? Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Trump did something that is very interesting, okay? At first, he said, we want regime change. This is an opportunity for you to come in, for the people of Iran to do what they need to do. Let there be an uprising, right? Let them go and take over. Let the people do what they've been wanting to do for decades, right? But then they finally do make a decision, right? At least rumor has it that they said, hey, we do have a supreme leader. We have elected him. Is Khamenei's son, or Khamenei? I think it's Khamenei. I apologize. I've been destroying his last name. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's last name is Khamenei, just so you know. But his son has been named, allegedly, as the supreme leader, the new supreme leader of Iran. So, real quick, just a little quick trip down memory lane. Trump said, hey, new regime change. They apparently sat down, had a conversation, okay? The Iranian people, and they said, we have found our new supreme leader. It is going to be the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, okay, who just lost his life. He was the whole focus, and one of the reasons why there's such upheaval in the Middle East right now. They said, we brought him in. We got this guy. You should be happy. Regime change. Done. Right? Now back off. Well, now Trump is saying something different. Now he's saying something different. And in a way, he's saying kind of like what happened with Venezuela. Did I say that? No. I want to make sure you guys hear me loud and clear. Take a little... Open your ears. Take the wax out of your ears. Didn't I just say? A couple days ago, I go, wait a second. That makes no sense. If the son takes over, how could they be cool with that? How could Trump administration even, be okay with that? Will that suffice? Because they never explained the ground rules, guys. They never said, hey, here's what we need, And in my mind, I'm like, aren't they going to act like this is Venezuela all over again, cabron? Are they not? Where they get to pick and decide, where Trump and the administration decides who is going to lead, and they'll give their stamp of approval. Like, my name's such and such, and I approve this message. Right? Right? So when they said, we got a supreme leader, we got a supreme leader, it's the son, right? We thought it'd be all fine and dandy to a certain extent, but no. We shouldn't be surprised that Trump said, hail to the nah. He most definitely said, hail to the nah. In fact, cabron, he said this, man. Okay, he said this. He says there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. Now, first off, hold up. Hold on one second. What in the F does that mean? Unconditional surrender. What does that mean exactly? Now, here it is, though. Let me hold on, because I know I got my MAGA supporters in the chat. Hold on. Time out. Don't get mad. Don't get salty. Okay. Don't drive angry if you're in the car right now driving. I'm not trying to knock Trump, but I'm just saying unconditional surrender means what exactly? You said you want a regime change, and now you're saying complete and unconditional surrender. What does that mean exactly? With all due respect, what does that mean? Can we get that explained so that we can play this game properly? Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's basically saying, well, he obviously said it in the first few words of the sentence. He says there will be no deal. Unconditional surrender. What does that mean? Is he saying unconditional surrender for that oil and that Strait of Hormuz? Like I said, I'm just asking the questions, but let's continue on. He said unconditional surrender. Love for you, for him, to just break it all the way down for me real quick. All right? That's a whole other Truth Social post. I understand. Like I said, not knocking Trump. I just want to know the ground rules, and I'm sure Iran wants to know the ground rules too. Okay, so that they can still say hell no later, because that's exactly what they're saying right now. Moving on, though, he says, going back to it, he says there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader/leaders, we and many of our wonderful and brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. We got to stop right there. Here it is. Hear me out. Big sentence, but there's a lot that he says in this one big ass sentence. Okay, first off, he says, after that, and the selection of great, acceptable leaders, okay, leader or leaders, which, by the way, that means he has to give the stamp of approval. Okay. Not only does, you know what this means? He's basically saying, surrender. We are taking over Iran. Yeah. You don't hear it? You don't hear it? You don't hear it in that big fat ass sentence? You don't hear it in the fat ass sentence, baby? He's saying, and it's already said in the first sentence. He says he says unconditional surrender. Okay? Yeah. He wants Iran. And whoever is going to be running Iran is going to be running Iran under the guise and leadership of the Trump administration. Oh, by the way, kind of like what's happening. Oh, no, not even kind of. A lot like, no, exactly like what's going on in Venezuela. Hold on, let's get back over here, okay? After that, and the selection of a great acceptable leader, we and many of our wonderful and brave and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction. So in other words, it's like, oh, this is our turf. It's mine and all my allies, all my boys, all my homies. You feel me? Oh, this is our crib now. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, you think this is your country now? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this bitch is ours. The hell you talking about? You might as well pack up all your stuff and move out, baby. Okay? Just leave like at least one roll of toilet paper and paper towels. That'd be appreciated. All right? But take all your stuff. Yes, and even the spatula. Take them all. Take all that ish. We don't need that shit. Come on, take it. This is ours. And we're going to tell you how you run things here in this country right here. Venezuela, part two. Part two. It's crazy, right? Because this is not what he said before. Remember, this is not what he said before. He just said regime change. This is an opportunity for Iran, the Iranian people, to take over the country. This is a big opportunity for America to come in and take the oil. Nobody? I mean, literally the first part he did say that out loud. This is an opportunity to take the country, Iranian people. Complete and utter regime change. And then when Iran said, oh yeah, we got somebody. It's the son of the person you just straight up murked. Is that good enough? Which is, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry, guys. It's not. That's not good. That's not a good move. No. In Spanish, that's a mala idea. Espanol, right? Mala idea. Muy mala idea, right? Not the greatest idea. So he said, oh, well, then let me come back and let me explain something to you. Okay, if you guys can't pick the guy out, the right guy, because I said regime, mother loving change. We just murked like your main dude and then 48 other main dudes as well. So we just kind of hit like control, alt, delete. You know what I'm saying? We did a hard reboot on that Iranian computer. You can't just bring back another floppy disk and say, we're going to put the old program back in. It's a younger version of the old program, but it's something new. No, man. No, we wiped this whole computer clean, baby. You got to do it right by what we say. If not, well, we're taking the computer anyway. Sorry. Ain't that nuts? But it was inevitable and expected. Nobody else saw that this was coming? Like, real talk, we really didn't think that Trump was going to use, the administration was going to see this as an opportunity to boop, hop on. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. Whether I agree on the move or not, all I know is that this was expected. And let's not forget this. Jim on Facebook just said this on Facebook. Cuba's next. They've already made that abundantly clear. Cuba, and I just saw it in the corner of my eye. Cuba is most definitely next. They've already siphoned or actually cut off resources to the country of Cuba. They've been doing that for several weeks already. Cuba is most definitely next, which we'll have to talk about later on the show or another time if I have time, right? But nonetheless, right now, when it comes to Iran, which, by the way, we're spreading ourselves crazy thin right now. But who am I to say anything? I'm not an expert in war. I've never been in the heat of battle. Okay. I've never been in the ish, as some would say. You know what I'm saying? I've never been deployed or anything of that sort. But I know when you got 15 different hands and 15 different pots, it gets a little crazy and you can't really focus on one properly or all of them properly. And then, of course, while you're looking over here, the people that want to retaliate or attack can see that opportunity. They're like, oh, you're over there you're staring over at Iran. Okay, let's go do something real quick. Let's go to handle this ish right now. They ain't looking over here. You know what I'm saying? Madness, guys. This is absolutely mad. So, mental, as some would say, right? Absolutely mental. So here's the thing. He said it's only after they approve the acceptable leaders that run this country, and through the leadership of him and our allies, that's where they're going to bring a new Iran back up from the ashes like a phoenix, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Then he says, Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again. Miga. It's crazy because if you say it weird, you put a hard R, you're going to have a hard problem. I digress. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Crazy, right? Crazy. Welcome to our world. So again, what did we expect? Did we expect anything different? I doubt it. Let's take a look at what Lindsey Graham, who, warmonger Lindsey Graham said here too. Okay, he says President Trump's decision, and he also posted this actual tweet. Okay, this unconditional surrender tweet. Okay, so he says Lindsey Graham, who's probably like, he's kind of like him and Pete Hegseth are just like grinning ear to ear. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Which, like I said, I'm going to keep on saying war. I just don't think it's necessary. That's just me. I know other people look at that and go, well, I disagree. I see a lot of benefits to this. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it. I see. And here's the other thing, Jim on Facebook, talking about China and our only real threat. China is most definitely a big threat, but here's the thing. Aren't we poking the bear? Aren't we poking the sleeping bear right now? You don't think that China's looking at all this stuff, and isn't China starting to look at what's going on in Iran and seeing that as an opportunity? And don't get me wrong, they might be waiting for a moment and an opportunity for us to be so focused on that they go and take Taiwan. Let's be real, right? So they see that. And then, of course, if they do Taiwan dirty, then that turns into an upheaval of problems, right? A whole basket case of problems, right? But from my understanding, China is definitely looking to get involved in this situation. We don't want that. We really don't want that. And then, of course, if Taiwan gets taken over by China, we're done. It's over. It's a wrap. But let's get into this. Lindsey Graham. Oh, Lindsey Graham. Okay. He says President Trump's decision to insist on unconditional surrender of the largest state sponsor of terrorism, the Iranian regime, which has been pursuing nuclear weapons, funding terrorist proxies, building thousands of ballistic missiles with the hope of one day reaching America, and has so much American blood on its hands, is the right and only approach to end this Iranian nightmare. The people of Iran should not be expected to live under the remnants of a weakened terrorist regime that has slaughtered over 32,000 of its own citizens. As in World War II, the evil of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan had to be defeated for the world to ever know peace again. The same is true with the Iranian regime. This must be defeated. I applaud President Trump for his steadfast leadership to achieve this goal. To the men and women involved in Operation Epic Fury, your righteous efforts will lead to the collapse of one of the most evil regimes in modern times. Godspeed. And then he says, well done, President Donald Trump. Now, interesting, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of people. There's not a lot, but there is a few people that are on the side of this movement, of this operation that are gung-ho. They're like, yes, do it, make it happen, so on and so forth. And I know that sometimes things have to get ugly before they get better. But at the same time, we are seeing a lot of issues and more things, more people, more things going on that I think are causing a massive, massive, massive problem, right? Let's take a look at some of this here. This is Trump speaking just several hours ago, but let's take a look at this.
That's great. It's great to be here. Champions. We like champions. We like winners. And we got a lot of them here today. Too many to introduce. A lot of them are political champions, and we don't care about them today, right? Right, Duffy? But we have, most importantly, wonderful people that love our country. And before we begin, I think I will say a few words about what's going on with respect to our operation in the country of Iran. The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Launches are gone. About 60% and 64% respectively.
I don't mean to push back at all, but what he's saying is that we know of. We kind of have to put that in there because they're still showing us allegedly, and it all could be fake. It all could be fake news too, but they're still showing, footage online. They have full-on doggone cities underground and all that. So as much as we say, oh yeah, we've annihilated, 30 warships and all that, but what about on land? Have we seen, are we sure we know everything that they have is out there exposed? Because a lot of things are hidden under the dirt, but let's continue.
Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling. They're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran, and we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job. Again, the greatest military anyone's seen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yesterday, my administration announced decisive action to help keep down the oil prices, including offering political risk insurance for tankers transiting into the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to reduce pressure on oil is imminent, and the oil seems to have pretty much stabilized. We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody. Scott, it's okay with you? Scott's the one who has to put up with it. He said, you have to do this now? I said, I have to do it, Scott, right? But it's been very strong, and everybody, including Scott, everybody feels we had really no choice. They were going to hit us if we didn't hit them because they're crazy. And in the long term, the actions we're taking will dramatically increase the stability of the region and oil prices and stock markets and everything else. You know, we set the all-time record in history with the Dow going to 50,000. So Dow was at 50,000. It was supposed to be maybe, if we were lucky, within by the end of my presidency in 4 years. And we did it in my first year. We did the S&P 500. We did that in a period of less than a year. And that was even tougher than the Dow, they said, so it wasn't going to happen. But we have a great country. We have a country that's never done this well. We've had tremendous success in so many different ways. I built the military and rebuilt it in my first term, and we're using it more than I'd like to use it, to be honest with you. But when we used it, we found out it certainly did work. When we look at Venezuela, when we look at the first attack, Midnight Hammer in Iran, which really set the stage for what we're doing right now. It's been pretty amazing. And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military and the police, to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. There's much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be, I think, a great future. And the United States will ensure that whoever leads the country next, Iran will not threaten America or its neighbors, Israel, anybody. If you look at what happened, they had missiles aimed at all of these other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many others that weren't really involved very much. And they had missiles aimed. Well, they were aimed there long before this ever started. They were going after the entire Middle East. And then we came along. We blew up their party. So we have phenomenal people. I want to thank all of the people that have been involved. Marco, you've been doing a fantastic job. And you've been doing a fantastic job on a place called Cuba.
Yeah.
And A-Rod came in.
Yeah. So hold on. hold on. So yeah. So now they're even talking about Cuba right now. Cuba. We do have some other breaking news, though, that I'm going to share with y'all right now. Okay. Something that we've been fearing, but now it's inevitable. Trump has privately shown serious interest in U.S. ground troops in Iran. Yes, y'all. So we are going to be seeing our men and women deployed. Yeah. Men and women deployed in Iran. Let's take a look at this. President Donald Trump has previously expressed serious interest in deploying U.S. troops on the ground inside of Iran, according to two U.S. officials, a former U.S. Official and another person with knowledge of the conversation. So just a lot of inside people that just like to talk. Trump has discussed the idea of deploying ground troops with aides and Republican officials outside the White House while outlining his vision for a post-war Iran in which Iran's uranium is secure and the U.S. and a new Iranian regime cooperate on oil production, similar to how the U.S. and Venezuela are, sources said. Didn't I just say that just a second ago? Didn't I just say that a second ago? Now, remember, I want to remind you guys, this is coming from sources. This is not coming from Pete Hegseth saying, we're going to F around. They're going to F around and find out. It's not from him. It's not from Trump's mouth himself. I want to make that abundantly clear. These are coming from sources. But clearly, let's be real, we've been known that this was inevitable. right? We knew that this was inevitable, right? You heard his Truth Social post. What do you expect? Same thing that happened with Maduro. When they took Maduro, they wanted to take over leadership in Venezuela so they have control over that oil. Let's be real. It's all about the oil. Iran, oil. Yes, the tyrannical. Yes, the regime is terrible. All that. I get that. I'm fully aware of that. 110%. Okay. But what else is really attracting them over there? Why are they so focused on that so much? Why are they so focused on Iran? That oil. Is that oil? Moving on, the president's comments expressing serious interest in deploying ground troops have not focused on a large scale ground invasion of Iran, but rather on the idea of a small contingent of U.S. troops that would be used for specific strategic purposes. This is the U.S. officials, the former U.S. official, and the person with knowledge of the discussions said. So all three of them repeated the same ish. Now, again, this could be a fugazi, guys. This could be absolute BS. It could be a lie, but it also could be very true. They said Trump has not made any decisions or given any orders related to ground troops, but I've heard through the grapevine that there are certain troops that were supposed to be doing certain types of training over the next couple days, and they have been stopped from doing the training, their usual training, because there's speculation that they're about to get deployed out to Iran. Now, and this is small, it's a smaller group, and what we're hearing from a source right here kind of backs what I heard through the grapevine as well. Let me just say this again. He said that he has serious interest in deploying ground troops and has not put it as a focus on a large scale ground invasion of Iran, but rather the idea of a small contingent of U.S. troops that would be used for specific strategic purposes. Like I said, rumor has it, certain troops have been told to basically stand by. Smaller groups, not like a whole 50,000 deployed, but a small thousand of soldiers told to stand by, stand back, and stand by. So if that information is true, it definitely goes with what they're saying. These sources are saying here too. But again, like I said, this is from sources. They could be completely wrong. You never know. Trump might be like, send them all in. You never know. The story is based on assumptions from anonymous sources who are not part of the president's national security team and are clearly not read into these discussions. And this is what Caroline Leavitt said in a statement. President Trump always wisely keeps all options open, but anyone trying to insinuate he is in favor of one option or another proves they have no real seat at the table. Yeah, it makes sense for her to react and say it like that, because it could just be speculation. It could just straight up be rumor. But there's a lot of information out here that should spark some interest, for sure. We're going to talk about that in a second. Publicly, Trump has not ruled out putting U.S., quote unquote, boots on the ground in Iran, though the war has so far consisted only of air campaign. His private discussions about the idea show a president perhaps more willing to consider taking such a step than his public comments on the issue so far have suggested. Any deployment of American troops inside of Iran could increase the scale and scope of the war and escalate the risks to American forces. Yeah, we've already lost six U.S. service members. You put boots on the ground, that death toll could potentially skyrocket. Interesting, right? So again, like I said, this is what, rumor is saying, right? The rumor mill is saying, oh, he about to put out he's about to deploy a small troop of soldiers, boots on the ground. And if that's true, America's going to be angry. But of course, there's going to be people who are going to be hardcore, MAGA, Trump could do no wrong. He's doing they're going to pull in now the BS of, he's doing the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? He's anointed by God, stuff like that. We already know that's what's going to happen, okay? Because we live in that world where people are just their minds are so twisted that whatever he says is scripture when it's not. Sorry, but that's just the truth. Now, we got to talk about oil prices. We got to talk about oil prices. So let's take a look at that. Oil prices have skyrocketed. And here you go.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your Fox News Report. It's day 7 of Operation Epic Fury, and CENTCOM says the U.S. has now struck more than 3,000 regime targets. President Trump says the only option on the table for Iran is, quote, unconditional surrender.
Of course, the overall mission in this operation is to ensure that Iran can never again possess a nuclear weapon.
The president also says the U.S. will help rebuild Iran after it surrenders. And the conflict is sending oil prices soaring to their highest levels in 2 years. Gas prices jumping 34 cents a gallon in just the last week alone. President Trump says prices will go down when the fighting stops, but that spike combined with a weak jobs report.
Sorry, hold on. We're going to roll that back. He says the prices of oil and gas is going to go down when we stop fighting. So when are we going to stop fighting then? It's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. He just said no deal. He said you must surrender unconditionally. And we are going to make the choice on who's going to be running your country. To me, that doesn't sound like something that's going to end in the next 4 to 6 weeks. No disrespect, but I just don't see it.
Says prices will go down when the fighting stops, but that spike combined with a weak jobs report has some investors spooked. Unemployment claims saw the second biggest monthly increase since the pandemic. President Trump says he wants to save college sports. Some of the biggest names in sports met at the White House.
And we can stop right there because that other stuff does not pertain to what we're talking about right here. Obviously, this is a very, very big deal. Okay? Money coming out of our pockets already. Money's about to get even worse for us. Okay? And all it goes down with him saying, I want this to be done by Iran. And if Iran doesn't bend at my will, there will be problems, right? But here's the thing. I just said this earlier, just a second ago. There should be a concern on what's going on. And I do think that there's something big that's about to happen. And I do truly think that we are going to have boots on the ground here very soon. And I feel that it's going to be over this weekend. I just feel it in my bones. Okay? And I know some will disagree. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay? This is just an assumption. This is just speculation. Speculation warning. Okay? But there is something else that's going on. We haven't really talked about like a whole lot of military hospitals, etc. But there's something going on in Germany that I think is really important for us to hear and talk about for a second. And just shed a little light on it. It could be nothing, but it could be something too. Take a look at this. Largest U.S. military hospital abroad halts labor delivery services amid Iran war. Why would they do that? It is one of the largest U.S. military hospitals that is in Germany. They're halting all labor and delivery services for a very specific reason. What could that reason be? Let's take a look. The largest U.S. Department of Defense hospital abroad is pausing its labor and delivery services until further notice to focus on the needs of the conflict across the Middle East. Why? If we're just flying around and just, our little metal birds are just dropping metal pooplets on them and making them go boom. Why are we so focused on what's going on in Germany? Why are we having the hospital pause on labor and delivery services because of what's going on in Iran? If it's just that, if it's just like, hey, we lost 6 people. Yes, may they rest in peace. Thank you so much for your service. Honor, we got to honor the fallen. But that's only 6. Why do you need to stop this now in Germany? The hell is going on? So the Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, located near Ramstein Air Base in Germany, is temporarily referring some labor and delivery patients to other hospitals. So like you're up there going, little guy's on his way, and they're like, oh no, you got to go to the other hospital down the street. Sorry, this place is shut off for war. So they're temporarily cutting off people who are about to push a child out, okay, to other hospitals within the local community, hospital officials told the Military Times on Thursday. So the medical center sent a notice about the halt in those services in Landstuhl to Landstuhl patients through a Tuesday memorandum that circulated on the unofficial Air Force Facebook page. Okay, our staff is in direct contact with impacted patients to provide additional information and facilitate a smooth transition to our healthcare partners. The memo states that the closure of labor and delivery is due to the hospital's primary objective. What could that be? What could that be? Although the memo doesn't elaborate on what that objective is, the hospital's primary role in critical combat care is to treat patients that are injured during training or combat operations throughout Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. During the ongoing U.S. military operations in Iran, the hospital is expected to continue its role in combat care. Why? Why are they suddenly turning that off? Going, ooh, I'm sorry. You're about to push out little Sven? Well, Sven can't be delivered here in Landstuhl. Sorry, you must go down the street. 9. You got to go down the street. Or you can go back to your house and deliver thy child over there. Crazy, right? Military hospital pushing away families that are about to deliver babies. Oh, Landstuhl? Okay. Thank you. Danke. Yes, danke. Okay. Landstuhl. Yes. So, they're saying 9 to those that are about to deliver babies. And they're saying, go down the street to another hospital because we need to be here for our primary objective, which is to take care of anybody who is in combat or in training that gets injured during combat or in training from the likes of any country like Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Why? They're getting ready for something big. They're getting ready for something big. Now, okay, I could be crazy. I could be wrong. Okay, I'm never, I'm not right all the time. But it does seem to me that they're getting prepared for something. Doesn't it feel like that a little bit to you? The Germans? Getting ready for something? 9 or die. Yeah, we international up in this biz night. Come on. We international up in this place. We doing all kinds of different languages. Come on, baby. She got military hospitals saying, nope. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to push little Adolf out into the world over there. Okay. Do people still name their children Adolf anywhere? That's insane. Moving on, though. You got to do it over there because we got our primary objective, and it's got to be, you know, Guten Morgen, you know? That's all the German I know. Sie bleiben zu Hause. Du trinkst Bier. That's all I got. That's all I got. What, Edelweiss? Is that German? I don't know. Okay. But anyway, nonetheless, Guten Tag. Yes, Guten Tag. Anyway, crazy, right? That's something interesting. Just wanted to point that out. I think that's something very important. You know, very important. What's going on in America and going on with the Iran war that we are most definitely a part of. Doesn't matter how many ways you look at it. We are a part of this mother lover. Okay. We're most definitely a part of it. Let's take a look at this. Come on.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. Iran is ramping up retaliatory attacks on its Arab neighbors as multiple sources confirmed to CBS News that Russia is providing intelligence to the regime about U.S. positions in the Middle East. Earlier today, the Takeout's Major Garrett spoke to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth about this development for this Sunday's 60 Minutes.
The American people can rest assured their commander-in-chief is well aware of who's talking to who, and anything that shouldn't be happening, whether it's in public or back-channeled, is being confronted and confronted strongly.
The American people can therefore expect conversations with the Russians to stop this?
Well, President Trump, as people have seen, has a unique relationship with a lot of world leaders where he can get things done that other presidents, certainly Joe Biden, never could have. And through direct conversations or indirect, through him one-to-one or through his cabinet, messages definitely can be delivered.
Does this put U.S. personnel in any more danger than they otherwise would be?
Well,
the Russian involvement.
No one's putting us in danger.
I'm sorry, but it is he has such confidence. He is oozing so much confidence. Okay. You know what I mean? He has so much confidence. I'm sorry. Like, I just, I'm not a fan of war. I've never been a fan of war. I don't see any good coming from war. Okay. I don't. All right. Personally, I just don't. And if that's something that you're gung-ho about, then hey, that's on you. All right. That's your decision. If you're excited about this stuff, cool. If you support this kind of chaos and the potential chaos coming over to America, that's on you too. It's all good. Like, we're here to have the discussion, right? We're here to have the conversation. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not okay with it. And the craziness to me about this, to me, is the amount of excitement this guy has in my mind. It's him. It's Lindsey Graham. It's the ones that are very much like wanting war so bad. They just want to see it so bad because they've been, cosplaying this for all of their lives. Okay. They've been playing war when they were babies, when they were kids, running in the backyard with using sticks as guns and stuff like that. And now that whole dream that, playing war is in real life. And now we got these cosplayers really doing the thing. Okay. Really doing it in real life now. And they're like, holy cow, we got it. Oh my God. We got nothing to worry about. No one's putting us in danger. We're impenetrable. This is the problem. This is the problem that we live in. What happened to Icarus, guys? What happened to Icarus? We should always be extremely cautious of what is going on. To me, this isn't a game. They're playing chess with real live people's lives. Okay? Just saying. Sorry, I just had to say it. I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
In a Fox Business interview, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said tonight will be our biggest bombing campaign in Iran. He added, we will, quote, do the most damage to the Iranian missile launchers. And you heard there Secretary Hegseth say we are the ones doing the harm. Just a reminder, 6 U.S. troops were killed when an Iranian strike hit a tactical operations center in Kuwait during Operation Epic Fury. President Trump will attend tomorrow's dignified transfer of their bodies at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. In a True Social post this morning, President Trump appeared to rule out negotiations with Iran, saying in part, quote, there will be no deal with Iran.
I'm skipping
except
ahead.
Unconditional surrender.
We already went
again
through that.
overnight. Explosions were also reported in Lebanon's capital of Beirut, where the Israel Defense Forces are targeting Hezbollah. The militant group is one of Iran's most powerful regional proxies. The Norwegian Refugee Council says the attacks have forced more than 300,000 people to flee Lebanon. About 24,000 U.S. citizens have returned to the U.S. from the Middle East since the war began last weekend. The State Department says it has, quote, directly assisted nearly 13,000 of those Americans in the region. A State Department spokesperson also posted a picture on X showing the New England Patriots private plane has been deployed to the Middle East to help bring stranded Americans home. State Department said one of the companies contracted for charter flights also manages the New England Patriots plane and that the department paid for the flight, adding the Patriots organization wasn't involved. Oil prices hit a 2-year high today as the conflict halts shipments through the vital Strait of Hormuz. AAA says the current national average gas price has jumped 32 cents over the last week to about $3.32 a gallon. CBS News chief correspondent Matt Gutman has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Earlier today, Iran's President Pezeshkian said that there are some countries that are already talking about mediation. President Trump posting on Truth Social that he's not willing to talk about a deal unless Iran commits to an unconditional surrender. At the same time, today, the Israeli Air Force launched a massive sortie, an attack on Iran's primary wartime bunker. This was the place where the Ayatollah Khamenei was supposed to be during war with Israel. He obviously didn't survive long enough to be there, but Israel today obliterated it with 100 munitions. We are talking about many tens of thousands of pounds of high explosives. The explosion reverberating across Tehran. We saw flames and smoke blanketing the sky. Some of the wounded from some of the attacks today from the U.S. and Israel, you could see them in video emerging encrusted in dust and blood. These attacks are rocking that country. Caroline Levitt at the White House saying that the U.S. is now crushing Iran and that this is all going to accelerate in the coming days because the U.S. now has air supremacy over Iran, means its planes, bigger planes, bombers, anything it wants now can do whatever they need in terms of attacking and picking off Iranian military installations and regime sites as it chooses. That as the pace of missile attacks and drone attacks from Iran has decreased significantly. We've had a number of those sirens here in Tel Aviv today, but not many missiles actually even making it through to Israel that we have seen. All of them, as we understand it, picked off pretty high in the atmosphere by Israel's missile defense shield. This as pressure is building on President Trump, not only from Democrats who are not happy with the way that he has dealt with repatriating Americans from the region, but also among the Gulf allies. An Emirati billionaire in Dubai tweeting at him, did you think about it before you pulled the trigger? Did you think about the collateral damage? And the Qatari energy minister saying that in a matter of days, the entire production of oil in many of these Gulf countries is going to stop. He predicted that oil could rise to $150 a barrel. And right now it's already at an 18-month high. Back to you.
Holy crap. 150. What? It just hit 90. They literally just said it hit 90. So they believe it could go to an all-time high of $150 mother-loving dollars a bit. Nah, man. Okay. Let me grab this here really quick. Somebody, Carl in Australia, speaking of gas, right? Thank you so much for the super chat. Fuel my home in my hometown in Australia from down under is 219.9 cent per liter. I don't know how Australia does their thing, so I apologize. Which is 832 I guess, $832.41 per gallon, which is $3.78 per gallon, or gallon per liter. So what in the hell? Okay, that's crazy. Okay, and of course, things aren't going to go and slow down. Things are not going to go and get any cheaper. Rochelle. Food is already high. Okay, food is already high. They already smoked like 3 blunts and ate 1 edible. Okay, food is already high. It can't get no higher. Well, it can, but it needs to stop. Okay, it's getting insane. Okay, it's getting absolutely insane. We already have that problem. Now we're going to have gas problems now too. This is not going to be good. Like I said, I get it that, it'll get worse before it gets better, yada, 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 yada. But at the same time, damn, okay? Like, we already having problems. And remember, I want to point this one thing out, okay? So sorry to all the people who are America for life. But let me explain something here really quick, all right? Didn't he say gas prices are the lowest they've ever been? Didn't he say that just like a couple weeks ago? Prices of food, the economy is booming. We're the hottest country ever. Gas prices have gone down to the lowest they've ever been. Right? So now we're back to this all over again. So he can't sing that tune anymore. Not until he corrects that, even though I don't know if the gas prices were ever the lowest they've ever been. But at the same time, think about that. He was boasting about that. He was saying the tariffs were so dope, were so fire, that he was going to cut us all a $2,000 check. And he forgot about that. And he said, oh, I said that? I didn't say that. Did I? Remember that? Talk about that tariffs. He said, tariffs are so fire, I'm about to give all y'all a check, another stimmy check. $2,000 this time, mother lovers. And then he said, oh, did I say that? Oh, damn. I didn't really mean it like that, though. Gas prices, the lowest it's ever been? Not so much anymore. If it goes up to $150 per gallon, per barrel, I'm sorry, holy crap, we're screwed. Okay? And like I said, I get it. Things has to get worse before they get better, but we've heard that before, haven't we? Let me get some of these other super chats here really quick, just to knock out a few. General Genobi, thank you so much for the love. It's been reported he is heavy leaning on boots on the ground. Yes, that's what we just read a little bit ago. Yeah, absolutely. Or at least rumor has it, right? So why am I seeing many videos now of people who voted for it upset their kids are going to go? Oh, damn. They voted for it all. Yeah. Remember, the campaign was President Peace. Not so much anymore. He poking his nose in everything. He putting his business. He's poking in everybody's business right now. He going over to Venezuela. He going to Cuba. He going over to Iran. He was talking about Greenland. Remember that? You remember we were talking about Greenland just a second ago? Are we still on that ish? And he was threatening big time about, like, if I don't get a piece of that Greenland's ass, we gonna have a problem. Did we not have that conversation? Oh, yeah, and let's not forget Ecuador. Yeah, Jose, he's like, Ecuador too, man. Ecuador too. Yeah, Ecuador too. He said, I want that Greenland. There's a lot of natural resources in the bottom of that, under all that ice. All that beautiful ice. He said that. Okay. Janobi, again, thank you so much. Mass job postings last 24 hours for mortuary affairs assistance and personal effects inventory for government. Really? That's insane too. Why? Why, guys? Why would that suddenly be a thing? Let me get this from Janobi. You got a couple. He put Cuba on notice today. Yeah, he did. He said, wait a second, y'all. Cuba, we ain't done. Yeah. And he said that they are next and that Marco Polo Rubio would actually be running it for sure. Yes, they did say that. They definitely did. Crisis, thank you so much. Yes, I'm glad I came back too. Thank you so much for the love. Appreciate the support. Rachel, welcome to the family. Or I think you're re-upping, but thank you so much for re-upping. Consider becoming a member, guys. Support the channel if you can. That'd be amazing. General Janobi, again, notice no order for half-raised flags for the deceased. Huh. What's CK? What is CK? I'm sorry. CK. Oh, Charlie Kirk. Yes. So Charlie Kirk, yes. That was ordered for Charlie Kirk. But what about our fallen that were a part of this Operation Epic Fury? That's interesting. That is very interesting. Carl from Australia. Hello from Australia. It was reported that in the Aussie news that 3 Australia servicemen were on the submarine that destroyed the Iranian warship. Yeah. If they are, that's wild. That is wild. And the whole operation behind that is absolutely insane as well. What they did, how they were able to completely decimate that warship using a torpedo that hasn't been used since World War II. So, yeah. Let's get over here. Caroline had some things to say, so let's see what she got to say about everything. Because now, I don't know how, I don't know how she sleeps. I really don't know how she sleeps. Actually, before we do that, I do need to show you guys this. I forgot to show you this too. So the other night, there was a soldier, okay, a Marine, that was basically at a congressional hearing, basically saying, we don't want to fight in your Israel war, right? We don't want to fight in your war for Israel, right? Somebody else did something. Another soldier did it too.
Stop lying to the American people. You will stop and cease the war in Gaza.
You will stop nothing.
You will cease the war.
And you will not be seen by this committee again.
Stop the genocide in Gaza.
Why were you arrested?
I want them to stop the genocide in Gaza and proceed to stop lying to the American people, because they've been doing it for too long. They've been funding the genocide. Israel.
All right, you stop following. We're taking down the loading dock.
Well, we just had a retired U.S. Army officer just get arrested inside of the Senate intelligence hearing because the U.S. Senate is complicit in the genocide. They are funding this genocide. While this government is shut down, we have our Senate and our Congress still sending billions of dollars to Israel. There was an interruption by this Army officer to call for an end to the genocide.
Now, of course, this also happened. I didn't get a chance to show
Israel
this.
is the reason.
I didn't get a chance to show this to you guys, and I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it gets kind of graphic at the end. But I want you guys to hear what's going on.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight.
Mind you, this is another Marine, just so you know. Completely different Marine saying this. And this is all about what's going on with Iran and all that, okay?
Fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Quick.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong.
And nobody wants to fight for Israel. A reminder to all our Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. Out. No one wants to fight.
I'm going to stop it right there. But he said over and over and over again, no one wants to fight for Israel. And right about this moment, he gets his arm broken. So I got to stop that. Okay? It gets kind of graphic there. And you can hear it. You definitely can hear it. It's disturbing. Okay? And he doesn't even bat an eye. It was insane, right? But that's what's going on. There are people that are speaking out that are not okay with what's going on with this war. You got to remember what was campaigned and what was told to us was one thing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I hate to keep repeating this over and over again, but they lost me at Epstein files. That was part of the campaign. That was part of his whole campaign as well. We're going to drain the swamp, expose the disturbing little PDF files out there and all that stuff, right? Get all the evildoers out and let justice reign upon them, right? With absolute fury. Epic fury. Right? Epstein files. So then this is the other thing. Part of his other campaign is, hey, I'm not one to start wars. I will stop them. In fact, wasn't that the reason why he was trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize? Hold up. I stopped 8 wars. I'm amazing. I should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. I stopped 8 wars. He said it over and over and over again, right? He was very butthurt that he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize this year. He stopped 8 wars, but then isn't he starting another one right now? Ain't he starting a big one right now? Potentially a big one? Some people are saying this is WW3. Some people are. But remember, there was campaign. There were some part of his campaign were those things. Epstein files. I'm not one to start wars. I'm going to squash them. I'm going to stop these wars from actually happening. And now we are seeing a war being concocted and put together in real time by Trump himself. Like I said, guys, I mean, like I said, you can believe and you can be a supporter, hardcore supporter of this administration, by all means. No disrespect here. And I will tell you when the administration does something great. I'll be like, yo, good on them for that, right? But right now, when it comes to war, a brewing war that is rapidly escalating to something, I'm going to use a Trumpism, escalating to the likes you've never seen before. It's pretty insane to me. It makes me go, what the hell? What kind of administration is this? What the hell's going on? Janobi, again, U.S. is now paying veterans benefits? I guess benefits for Israeli troops? Huh. That's interesting. Thank you, Janobi. Rich, buddy, thank you so much for that information. Thank you for the super chat. Michelle Woods, thank you so much. Why won't Trump send his son Barron? It won't ever happen. That won't ever happen. No, wait. Bone spurs are probably inherited. Scratch that. Yup. Indeed. Janobi, thank you so much. NC guard being called up. Breaking news. NC. What's NC? What's NC? Janobi, what's NC? Let me know what that is. NC guard being called up? What? Hold on. North Carolina guard? What? Being called up for what? North Carolina guard being called up. What for what though? I'm gonna have to look at that after the show. North Carolina guard being called up for what though? Interesting. Star Fury, thank you so much for the love. It's pronounced Remstein. Okay. Thank you. And yes, it is a main hospital for Middle East combat injuries for soldiers in combat. Pascal, I've been there in 2003 when I was injured in Iraq. Interesting. So again, we're hearing, thank you so much for your service, my brother. I appreciate it. But we do have a vet saying that he's been there before because he was injured while deployed in Iraq. So why are they pushing away, families that are about to deliver children from that actual hospital right now? Right now, of all things, it tells you something is brewing. Okay? Something is afoot. Thank you so much. Debbie, thank you so much for being a member for the past 40 months. I appreciate you. Thank you. And of course, being an amazing mod. Thank you. What time will you be on Court TV tonight? I'm at the top of the show tonight. I'm at the very, very tippity top. So, and I'm only on for one segment. So very top of the show. I'll be on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come through. Okay. Bessie. Yes. Genobi. Thank you. I appreciate it. Genobi, again, ICE getting memos. They have to go support now. Interesting. ICE? What? I mean, I would get like that would make sense if ICE was involved. Like if they brought them in and said, "Hey, you're getting involved," but that'd be wild if they're like, "Yeah, come on, ICE. You're going overseas. You're the first to go. You're the first wave." That would be insane. They're not military. Yeah. They're not military. Not at all. Belenal? Thank you so much for the super chat, my lord. Thank you. Pascal, thank you for talking about this. We regular people are the ones who fight these wars, and our lives are worth just as much, of not more than, the billionaires who run this country. Yep. Love to all our veterans and the innocent lives lost. Absolutely. Shout out to all of them. All of them that are deployed out there. All part of the Air Force, etc. Navy, Air Force, etc. that are out there doing what they're doing right now. Real talk. For a fact, there's a good portion of them that are just doing the job because they are ordered to do so, and they probably don't want to do what they're being told to do as well. Let's not forget that too. And I hope everybody stays safe out there. But I don't know how or when this war is going to end. I hope it does end soon, but God only knows what's going to happen next. Again, these are just my thoughts, my opinions, and my theories. I could be 110% wrong. 2 seconds from now, there could be a ceasefire agreement and everything goes back to normal for now, right? Or this thing escalates and there truly will be boots on the ground by this weekend. We'll see. But one thing is for sure. We need to start taking care of each other. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we agree with or what we don't agree with. At the end of it all, we have to find a way to live in harmony with each other. Because I think these streets are about to get pretty volatile. If prices continue going the way that they're going, if this war continues going in the way that it is going, seriously, fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Weather Whisperer, thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's crazy. I was thinking about joining military last year, and recruiter texted me last week and asked me if I wanted to join, and I told her no. Yeah. Probably, if you hear this, if you want to go and protect, serve our country, hey, admirable. There's a lot of honor in it. But at the same time, I'm happy you didn't. Not right now. It's only going to get crazy. It's only going to get worse. I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong. But we'll see. We will definitely see. Give it time. This thing is still brewing. It hasn't gone to a full boil yet, but it's definitely at a very strong simmer. So we'll see what happens over this weekend for sure. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Thank you all to all the super chats and all you new members. It really means the world to me. Thank you so very, very much. Okay? But I got to get going. I'm going to be on Court TV in less than half an hour. So I got to take care of my stuff, get some things together, stretch my legs before I got to get back in front of here to talk for like 3 seconds. But please be sure to tune in if you get a chance. We'll be live at 9 p.m., literally less than a half hour from now. So go check it out on Court TV. Vinny Politan Investigates, okay? I'll be on with Chris McDonough, which I'm really looking forward to. Very, very cool. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush the do it to do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel, please, and thank you. Hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. I'll see you guys over on Court TV in just a little while. But until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a great weekend, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.